Welcome to Women of the Wild,
where education and opportunities are key.
And friendships are made to last a lifetime.
Did you get him?
You think we got him? You think we got him? We got him. We said that yesterday.
All right, Skylar, what do we got here?
We've got a nice looking ripple.
Yeah. Oh, there she is.
You dropped our great ghost.
Give me a hug.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Women of the Wild podcast. I am your host, Linda White, and I am accompanied by the entire board today. I've got Felicia and Cassie both here with me. Hi, girls. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Great. How about you,
Great.
Cass?
How are you?
I'm fantastic. So we decided that our first podcast of the new year, we were going to talk a little bit about different events that we had in the past and things that we have coming up for 2023. So Felicia, why don't you take it away with some of the events that we had last year? What happened? What the girls that were on it and all the fun stuff.
Yeah, so last year for 2022, we had a really great year hosting several walleye events, some sturgeon events with Michigan Guide Service, also Chris Miller on with Blast and Cast Guide Service. We got a ton of women out on walleye last year, even some salmon. We did a bow fishing event in Wisconsin where we took a group of girls and new experiences for women, educating them on new tools and skill sets. Then we turned around and we did our sturgeon events up in St. Clair, and we did an educational goose hunt, which was really awesome. We got to host 2 different days of groups of women, so 2 completely different groups on Saturday and Sunday in September for early goose season. And we've had some diver duck hunts. We've had, but then intermixed with all of that, we also had some educational programs. So we did that trapping class and started the 2023 year off real fresh with our canning event last weekend.
Yeah, and you and Cass were both at that canning event, weren't you?
We were.
So hey,
Yeah,
Cass, how did you like the canning event? What did the girls get to do while they were there? Tell us a little bit about that experience.
Yeah, of course. So the canning event, we had 20 girls, and we were at Muzzy Pheasant Farm, which has a really awesome setup. And we had a speaker who was there from MSU Extension, and she was teaching us about all the different safety and then also all the different benefits to canning. We had a whole bunch of different setups. We got to can venison and pheasant, and we did pickled carrots, which was a new one for me. But it was definitely very informative. And me personally, I'm still scared to can, but that's because I overthink it and it sounds like a lot of work. But if I would want to can, I learned a lot from it. There's so much more things that go into canning that I never even knew, and just all the different steps. And it was super informative, and I'm really glad that I got to see all the different girls getting to interact with it and getting to take home some goodies that they personally can themselves.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I do some canning on my own, but I learned everything from my my husband's mom, and she's old school. So it's kind of neat to hear that we're developing new skills. Those ladies are out there. I think like the canning event itself is just for anybody. You know, whether you're a hunter, you fish, you don't do anything. You know, it's just a skill that's really great for everybody in their whole family. Um, you know, you can't trust the supermarket. COVID kind of told us that. So I think that's awesome.
And it was really neat because the girls, so we did donated venison, we did donated pheasant, and then we also provided carrots and Brussels sprouts. So we canned 4 different items. But in that, we got to actually do it a couple different ways. So when we did the venison, some of the girls wanted to do theirs cooked and some of it wanted to do it raw canned. So the girls actually got to see how to cook the venison and can it opposed to a raw can. So that was kind of neat all in itself too. And they got to make the brines themselves. And I mean, they got to do everything themselves and be very, very hands-on, but having it set with like that diversity for them to be able to know how to do it in different forms. So the same meat, but done 2 different ways, with seasoning, without seasoning, with broth, without broth. Like Karen was very, very informative on the different ways, but also like the benefits to canning and getting back to that traditional root. And we went over like botulism and things like that, of why it's important to do it properly and, you know, sealing your jars. There were girls there that knew how to can, but they learned from like the old timers. So they wanted to make sure that they were doing it right. And there were things that it was like, you should be doing this to actually be storing your meat. And knowing that you can preserve something for that long once it's canned is pretty neat. That like the consumption, you have such a long turnaround on these canned items. It's going to proceed anything past what a freezer is going to be able to obtain, because a freezer can only, like, you're going to end up with, you know, frost on your meat and everything, and freezer burn at some point. Meat's going to stay in your freezer good for a very long time, but canning it is essentially giving it even longer shelf life. So that was kind of a cool thing that I didn't know. I thought when you can something that it's only good for a short period of time. I didn't realize that it's like an indefinite expiration on it.
Yeah, it can be quite a while. Now, I mean, obviously seals can break and everything else, which causes issues, but for the most part, once it's sealed, I mean, it can really outlast some good stuff. So good. That's awesome. So let's talk a little bit about here where you're leaving for Texas in what, 2 days?
Tomorrow. Yeah.
Tomorrow?
Yeah. So, I mean, when this airs, we'll be, I believe this will air
Friday.
So we will actually be in the field when this is airing. We're taking 10 women down to Lubbock, Texas with Open Plains Outfitter. And we are going to chase prehistoric birds with 10 women. We have some opportunities to possibly get some geese and ducks. So we're hoping and crossing our fingers that pulls through and happens. But yeah, leaving tomorrow afternoon for Texas. A group of girls from Michigan are heading down, and some of the other girls are from Texas. We have some girls from Arizona, some from California. So we really have a mixed bag of where these girls are traveling from. Really excited to meet some of them. And a really great outfitter. I've hunted with Talia down in Texas for my ibex. She did a ram and I did an ibex when we went down there with Wicked 7. So I'm excited to see her again. And it's really awesome being able to support a female guide.
Yeah. Well, that's fantastic. And then you're going to come home and we are hosting a ice fishing trip, right? For beginners?
Yeah. So we, on January 28th, we're hosting, it's from 10:30 to 6:30 in Southeast Michigan. The location will be disclosed closer to the date just to assure that we're on safe ice, because we might have to change the location of the inlet lake that we're on. But it'll be Southeast Michigan. We are very privileged to have such great sponsorships that ACC Crappie Sticks will be down here. They've also donated some items for the girls. So all the girls are going to be completely outfitted for ice fishing. They're going to come to this event basically wearing their gear, and they're going to leave with everything that they need to start ice fishing on their own. And it'll be a complete intro to ice fishing. So we're going to go over everything from setting up shanties to drilling the holes to starting a heater, tying lines, to tying up, what bait to tie on, when to use it and where to find fish, how to use fish finders. We're going to go over ice picks and ice safety, what to do if you fall through the ice, provide them lunch. They're going to get just a really great experience out of it, and hopefully smashing on some slab of crappies with ACC.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And ACC is actually one of our sponsors of this podcast. So I hope he's listening, that we kind of gave him a little shout out there.
Andy's fantastic, and they've been a really great sponsor of us from the beginning. So huge shout out to them, and they have fantastic equipment. So really honored to be able to be using that out on the water. These girls are getting some really great gear from this event.
So that kind of brings us into February. And February, we have a veterans duck hunt, correct?
Yes. So on February 4th, we're going to be hosting 4 female veterans with Valen Honor. We have some really great sponsors. So Stump from RMC Calls will be there with us. And another great sponsor who's been with us since the beginning of all of this in our infancy as we grow. Big supporter of his products, but also he's a huge supporter of what we're doing. He's a veteran himself. So this is a female veterans duck hunt. We are sponsoring these girls. So they literally just show up. They only need to provide their travel, their hunting license, and their firearm ammunition. But we'll be providing the hunt, the lodging, the meals, everything for them, and sponsoring these women for that February hunt. It'll be 2 nights of lodging and 1 day of all-day hunt. We'll chase geese and ducks throughout the entire day.
That sounds like so much fun, and what a great opportunity.
Yeah, so that'll be in Arkansas, Jonesboro, Arkansas, and that first weekend in February. Really, really excited for that one, and just very honored to be able to provide a service back to so many people that have served us, and being able to give that opportunity to these women is really exciting for us here at Women of the Wild. It's one of our big passions, is helping our female veterans.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So in February also, I am working on trying to get us a virtual trapping trip as well. And it's something that I'm trying to put together while I'm in Tennessee. I'm going to be taking some video of what it's like to be out on the trap line, and then do a virtual one-on-one like trapping event kind of. And it would be open to anybody really who would be listening, anybody who wants to know a little bit more about trapping. I'm hoping to get that scheduled for us in February. So then, like you said, we'd be going to the expo after that. So Cass, why don't you tell us a little bit about the expo that's in February that we would be at?
Yeah, absolutely. We are going to be going out to Novi, and we're going to be at the Outdoorama. And this is basically a giant event where you get to walk around. You'll get to meet a whole bunch of different people who have any kind of outdoor activities to offer. We're going to be sharing an area with Muzzy Pheasant Farm and with Chris Milliron with Blast and Cast. So that's going to be awesome. It's basically an event, like an outreach event. So we're going to be able to inform more people about what we are and our mission. And it's an awesome opportunity that we have been granted to be able to be there this year.
Yeah, so if we have people that are in Michigan or Ohio that are planning on coming up to the Novi Expo Center for that event, it's going to be a great event. It's huge. There's outfitters, there's products for the outdoor world, all of that. There's activities for kids. So if you want to come in and check out our booth, like Cass said, we'll be with Muzzy Pheasant Farms, and we'll be with Blast and Cast Guide Service right there in the strip. So stop in and talk to us and have a conversation with us about events or courses, or stop in and let us know the things that have gotten you inspired or things that you want to see us do. Like, just come in and fill us in on what you want as well if you're in the area.
Absolutely. We'd love to see your faces. We'd love to be able to connect with more women that are out there. So yeah, please stop by. So that kind of takes us into March. And in March, we're back in Texas.
March, we will be back in Texas. We have a incredible guide out there. Austin Pressey with Wicked 7 Outdoors is hosting 5 of us out there for an aoudad, free range aoudad hunt. Rio turkeys, wild hogs, and javelinas. We're going to have a chance at predators if they come in. But this is a I'm so excited for this. It is a back country in the middle of nowhere, border of Mexico hunt. We're going to be camping backpack style. Walk in, couple miles a day, in and out, backpacking your meat out. We're going to be doing, some of the girls will be doing aoudad ewes and some will be doing rams. We're going to then kind of like do a little bit of a turn and burn after we do the javelinas and everything like that. And we're going to come up towards Rock Springs and we're going to do our Rio turkeys for the last couple of days before we head back home.
That sounds like a lot of fun. So, we're pretty much open in April now. We don't have much going on in April. But May we're doing a walleye run, correct?
So the walleye run actually will start in April. We have it on the calendar right now for May, but it's actually going to be April and May. We just don't have the dates. Those are to be determined at this point. We will have multiple dates for the walleye run. It's really going to depend on how how the river lights up. Once that river's on fire, we're going to try to get in there and get as many girls in there. Really hoping to do some female veterans out there as well, get some youth involved. We also, in the month of February, March, and April, we're going to be hosting some pheasant events that aren't on the calendar yet, but they will be soon. So there's a lot of things that aren't on there yet, but really awesome events to look forward to. Some of the things on the back end that we're working on is getting those up and posted. We'll have some educational courses in between all of these events as well. There's just some final details and quirks we got to work out, but I know that calendar looks empty between March and May, but it's not. We definitely have a lot to come between there.
That's awesome. And then in May also, we are in Pennsylvania doing a smaller convention in PA. Trying to just, really outreach to women all over the place. I know that we are kind of centrally located in Michigan, but I mean, we want those events everywhere and really able to reach women anywhere that we can.
Yeah, and we'll also be at the NWTF in February, the beginning of February. I will be there with Rhino Land Safaris, but also repping for Women of the Wild there. So down in Tennessee. So if anybody is listening that's down in Tennessee, we'll be there as well. So we're getting a couple of those expos in this, early, I want to call it late winter, early spring. We have a lot of expos coming up for us to do outreach in other states aside from just Michigan. We have PRs in other states, and we will be branching out more and more. I know last year we kind of put it out there that just hold on, we're getting there, and we really have hit the ground running, and we have a fantastic team that's pushing it. And the PRs that we have that are not in Michigan or willing to travel outside of Michigan, we're actually starting to get a little bit better of a grip of getting out there. So if we don't have an event in your area, I promise you it's coming soon.
And now a short word from our sponsors.
Girls with Guns Clothing is a proud sponsor of Women of the Wilds podcast. If you are looking for hunting gear, be sure to check out our new fall collection, including the launch of our new Artemis Generation 2 lineup. With Girls with Guns, you know that our gear has been designed and field tested by women who actually hunt and wear this gear. We have an amazing team of women who contribute and share their ideas and extensive field testing so that our gear works for you in multiple hunting environments. We build our gear for women of all shapes and sizes, made by women for women. If you want to try out GWG, you can go to gwgclothing.com and use WILD15 for a discount off of your first order.
Spark that fire and passion for the great outdoors through the gift of reading and learning with your kids. Dr. Josh Farr's vivid storytelling will captivate and teach your little ones through books like The ABCs of Hunting, Let's Go Out and Play, and his latest book, coming soon, The ABCs of the Outdoors. Your kids will love the great stories and bright, colorful pictures as they learn about friendship, life, and nature. See all of Dr. Josh Farr's books at drjoshfarr.com. That's DRJOSHFARR.com.
Well, you see, trappers are a special breed of people. We're dedicated, committed, and passionate about what we do and who we are. Each and every one of us has an intense desire to be the very best we can. So in the world of skinny jeans, man buns, and pumpkin spice lattes, sometimes you just have to stop, push back, and tell the world, that's not me. Whether you're from the far north or in the deep south and anywhere in between, Southern Snares can help you succeed at getting the job done and being who you are.
Hey everyone, Andy from ACC Crappie Sticks. I want to tell you about our full line of vertical jigging and live scoping crappie rods. We have from 10 foot to 13 foot in mid-seat to rear seat and available in cork and super grip handles to cover all of your vertical fishing and live scoping needs. Go to acccrappiesticks.com. Thank you.
We would also like you to check out Sawmill Creek Bait and Lures, RMC Custom Calls, Atlantic Coral Enterprise, Blast and Cast Guide Service, Epler Fur, Feather Moon Calls, Shangalaya Safaris, Shelly Emmer with Dirty Girl Guide Service, and Hunting Day Podcast. So let's talk a little bit about June. Going to Florida.
Yeah, so June is going to be a really great event. We are going down there and it is iguanas, hogs, pythons, and peacock bass. That it is basically going to be a Florida style safari. Really excited for that event. It's something a little bit different than what we've done in the past. It is with River Oak Outfitter. It's going to be really neat to see these girls, the iguanas with the airsoft rifles and the pythons. Like that's a really cool thing, controlling those invasive species. The wild hogs, again, invasive critters. And then there is an option that if girls want to add alligators, they can. So it's not part of the package, but if they wanted to add it, there's the availability and time in the schedule to do so.
I'm not going to lie. That's so cool.
That's going to be a really neat event. I'm really excited to see the girls go on that one. It's a great outfitter. Lodging, meals, the hunt, everything will be included in that. So we typically try to always include meals and lodging in our events. So if it's not, we'll definitely let you know. But this one down in Florida is going to be a really neat, just Florida safari, really.
I really want Cassie to be able to go on that one because I'm going to tell you that sturgeon video that from last year with her screaming and how excited she was, I could just imagine what she would be like with an alligator.
Yeah, I can say that would be over the top excitement from her.
Oh my gosh, I can't even explain how long I've wanted to go after some alligators. Like, I don't know if anyone knows my creepy obsession, a normal obsession with alligators, but it's like anytime we go anywhere and they're like, oh, you have a small chance of seeing an alligator. Oh, that is what I'm doing the entire time I'm there. I am going to find one. Doesn't matter how big it is. It can be just hatched and I'm going to be just as excited as when like a 13-foot one comes swimming by. And I have pictures of me kissing alligators. And I had, okay, this is like another one of my little geek moments, but swamp people watching that just gets me excited. I'm like, oh man, I need to go down there go see Holden, go shoot some alligators with him and his grandpa.
If
My
you
dream.
if you end up going on this trip, I want you to take a video of you going, shoot him, shoot him. I'm sorry. I just need to see that. I just need to see that.
It will be an absolute requirement if I go that will be a video sent to
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank
I'll
you.
do that.
There, a nice little TikTok or something on that one, I think would be perfect. So July, Wisconsin.
We'll be doing some more bow fishing events in Wisconsin. That's a really great area for carp and everything, and hopefully get some a little bit more diversity there. I know we had some gar last time and everything like that, so we'll be offering bow fishing in July. We'll also have some sturgeon events here in Michigan
That you can listen Cassidy screaming on.
Yeah, and we might even trickle those sturgeon events into August as well. And then our real big event is coming in August that we're hosting 8 women back in South Africa. So I went last year with Girls with Guns with Rhino Land Safaris, and the place stole my heart so much that I felt very I don't want to say obligated, but I just have such a strong love and passion for South Africa now. And it's funny because before I went, I was that person that was like, I'm never going to do that. I would never do that. Why would I shoot a zebra? Like, I didn't understand it. But now that I've lived it and I've experienced it, it changed my life. It stole my heart. And I'm very excited to go back, but be able for Women of the Wild to provide the opportunity to take 8 women with us. It'll be 8 days, a 5-star lodge with 5-star meals, all included, 4 animals. So the girls are going to have a chance at wildebeest, zebra, impala, and their choice between a blessbok and a steenbok, or they can substitute animals or add anything that they want. It's really a build your own package kind of thing. We have a base package, so if they want to add anything to it or substitute something out, I have that price sheet for girls. But it's an experience. I mean, it's a 33,000 acre ranch. You're going to see elephants and rhinos and hippos, and they're free range. In this, I mean, it's essentially a high fence, but it's as big as most of our counties here in Michigan. So you're going to see these animals in their natural habitat, and they're free ranging on this piece of property. The fence is more for poachers, keeping them out, but they're going to be able to taste all those meats and just experience what South Africa has to offer with Rhino Land Safaris and Women of the Wild.
Like I know whenever you went last year, Cass and I were sitting by the phones on the WhatsApp app and looking at your pictures and videos and just cheering you on. And I think that's just such a fantastic experience for these ladies to be able to go and be a part of.
Yeah, it's definitely something that if you have the opportunity, I would highly suggest it. If you're wavering it, don't, just do it. It's a pretty inexpensive trip, really. I mean, it's expensive, don't get me wrong, but for what you're getting out of it, I mean, you're getting an entire week's vacation out of it with 4 animals, all your meals, lodging, like they take care of you so well there. That you have a chef that is your chef for the whole week, and you get all 3 meals a day, and they are better than any 5-star I've had here in the US. And they're wild game. So everything that you're hunting, you're getting to eat that. But then also a really big piece to all of that with South Africa is we're getting the opportunity to feed villages and families over there in a third world country. We're feeding school districts and nursing homes. So that meat is going to use. And we actually have it worked out here in the United States with St. Clair Flats Taxidermy, who's also one of our sponsors, to make sure that these girls are taken care of with their taxidermy on the back end. So we have all of that set aside for the girls. Like, there's no stone unturned with this. We have everything aside from booking your flight, we got you covered.
That's awesome. It's super cool. So then we're kind of ending the year, September, October, November, with birds. I mean, it looks like as of right now, we've got goose in September. October, we're doing ducks. In November, and pheasant hunts, correct?
Yes, yeah, and there might be some more events added in throughout the year as they come up. Like we'll probably have a couple of pheasant events towards the fall. We definitely will be doing the education early goose again. We will be offering some more advanced goose duck hunts. We'll definitely do a diver duck hunt again with Michigan Guide Service. The girls had an absolute blast this year. So we also like to cater back to those events that really did well the previous years. I would love to be able to get on some puddle ducks with some girls. So there might be a couple of duck hunts that intermingle in there. But just like a tentative schedule of what to look forward to. It's really, really awesome. But yeah, birds is going to be how we're going to finish the year off. And I'm really excited for that because here, especially here in Michigan, like if we have other opportunities in other states, we'll definitely take those on. But here in Michigan, that fall winter time, we really start knuckling down on deer season and waterfowl. But unfortunately, deer season is kind of trickier to get people out on. So that's why we kind of catered to the waterfowl aspect, and it's a great way for us to keep the community going strong. We could offer deer hunts and things like that, but to justify taking a group of women out and then splitting them up and putting them out on their own, it loses the value of the sisterhood that we're building, and being able to provide the pheasant hunts, the duck hunts, the goose hunts, where we can have the camaraderie and be together in the blind is more of our focus. So I'm really excited to have that end of the year to be almost like a family oriented end of our season. And then December is going to pretty much be our closing of everything. So December, we don't have anything on the schedule for December just because of the holidays and everything like that. All of our members are volunteers. So we want to make sure that we're giving them a break from everything that they're doing and all the contributes that they've put in throughout the year to go home and spend that time with their family. So that's why you'll see that December's a little bit quieter for us.
Yeah, and like Felicia said, this is just a tentative schedule right now on some things. So if you ever want to see any kind of other hunts, other educational programs, like we did a trapping class last year in the fall, and we'll probably end up trying to do another one. That went over pretty well, but reach out to Felicia, Cassidy, myself, and let us know what you'd like to see. And even if you have some contacts yourself, put us in contact with them.
Yeah, absolutely. And a couple things to add into this for our calendar for 2023. Our cookbooks are fantastic. They're still available. You can purchase them on the website. But those are going to come back out next year. So be ready with recipes to contribute for next year's book. It's going to get bigger. It's going to get better. We're also going to be running the calendars again for 2023. Those are also still available on the website, but next year's we're going to get those rolling and get those out and have those out a month or two before Christmas this time. We have, so many other things up our sleeve. We have new merch drop. We have new hats coming that are leather patch. We have beanies and gator sets. We also have some teaming up from other sponsors that we have. So Girls with Guns, we're going to be able to provide opportunities for women to get some of that gear at a discounted rate through Women of the Wild when you join events with us. So if you don't wear Girls with Guns, I highly recommend purchasing some of their gear, because especially when you see their sales, they run incredible sales. But their gear, I've been wearing it before they were even a camo line. I mean, I started with them, I want to say almost a decade ago, when they were just t-shirts and baseball hats. And they've been an incredible company sponsoring women and doing things for women in the outdoors. Really proud sponsor of us here at Women of the Wild. So we love showing our support back to them, but they have great gear. I wear it on all my big game stuff out in Africa and everything like that. They also have like their upland pheasant lines and snow gear. So really excited for that partnership and sponsorship with them. Really cool things coming this year. So we're going to have a lot of fun things that aren't on that schedule yet, but it'll change throughout the year.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can pick up a new schedule or keep checking back at our Facebook page, our website, which is womenofthewild.net. Any of those places, Facebook, Instagram, we're going to start TikTok. Any of those places you'll be able to pick up that schedule. You'll be able to see what's going on. Reach out to the three of us. We would love to hear from you if you have new ideas, any of those things. We're here.
Definitely. And also to the women that have been on events with us in 2022, we really appreciate everyone giving us the opportunity to provide you education, to provide you an experience, keep you girls safe, but give you a skill set in the outdoors. We'd love for you to give us some feedback, write us a review, let us know how we're doing. We see a lot of repeat girls. So it makes us feel good to know that we're doing something right there, that these girls are wanting to get back out with us and so excited to do so. We'd love to hear your feedback on that. And you can do that on our Facebook page. You can just go right on there and write a review. Let us know how we're doing or things that we could do better. Nobody's perfect and we understand that. We recognize it. And if there's things that you want us to do, send us a message. When you message us at womenofthewild@gmail.com, you're getting one of our board members there. So you can reach out to us with any questions, concerns, or anything you'd like to see come up in the future. And if you message us on Instagram or Facebook, you're getting any one of our board members or any one of our PHs could be responding to you. We all have the capability of answering any questions that you have. So if you have questions, concerns, comments, we want to hear it. We want that feedback. That's how we're going to learn, and that's how we're going to grow and be able to provide better services to you ladies.
Yeah, and also to let you know, we have a YouTube channel. You might want to check it out. We're going to be adding some more videos of trips that we have been on, events that we have had past and coming up. You'll be able to see Cassie's sturgeon scream. I absolutely love that video. I'm not going to lie. I think it's one of my favorites. One of the girls was on the sturgeon trip with her and pulled in the sturgeon, and I think Cass was more excited than the girl was for it. So we'll have videos of that on there. Other trips that are past and in the future coming up. So check us out. And I think that pretty much sums it up. Cass, do you have anything to add?
I was just gonna say, mind you, with that sturgeon trip, the girl who reeled in this monster sturgeon, it was like, oh my gosh, I'm forgetting. It was in the 70 inches.
72.
The only fish, 72, the only fish she had ever caught before that were sunfish.
That's awesome.
So imagine going from sunfish, panfish,
Yeah,
to this giant sturgeon that ran her line to the point where we had to move the boat because we were about to be out of line. Over 600 feet of line going.
that's awesome.
I was so excited. And her face, who was just so excited, just made my day. But that's all I really had to say. But also going on what Felicia said about people reaching out, just let us know exactly what you liked on every event, what you didn't like. That's how we will know for the future how to make every event the best event we can do and make it more focused on what girls are interested in, what things we need to target more, what things we targeted great. So all piece of feedback, no matter what it is, you might think it's the smallest little detail, but it could really help. So just let us know everything.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I'd like to take the time to say thank you to Felicia and Cassie for joining us. It's hard to nail us all down in one place, so it's awesome that we're able to do this podcast together. I appreciate all those that have tuned in, that are listening. Let us know if you have anybody that you'd like to hear on the podcast. If you maybe follow a woman who is in the outdoors, who's very active, get us in contact with her. We'd love to interview her. We'd love to have her on. And I think that's pretty much it. Anything else to add, Felicia?
just super appreciative of everybody that gives us the opportunity to service them. Coming out and getting out with us is really a life-changing experience for a lot of these women. And we really appreciate all those women who support us through 2022 and are going to continue through 2023. Big thank you to all of our sponsors. We wouldn't be able to do and provide what we are without you. The feedback, the grants, everything that we're getting through all of this, we have a lot up our sleeves, and we work very, very hard to make sure that every event goes off without a hitch. So our staff, big thank you to all of you. It's really awesome to watch all this unfold. And a huge thank you to all of our outfitters, our captains that work with us. You're a huge part of this, that getting these girls out in a safe educational environment of somebody with the experience levels that some of these coordinators have is really awesome to watch unfold and watch these girls learn something for the first time. So it's a team effort. It's really great to have this ability to provide such an awesome service to so many women. And it's really everybody, that village is what makes this work. It's creating a wonderful sisterhood, and really proud to be a part of it.
All right. Well, thank you to all of our listeners. And we will be back in 2 weeks with Christy, who is actually one of our ambassadors, our team members. And you can learn a little bit about her and who she is. And thank you all for tuning in and listening. Have a great night. Thanks, ladies. And that concludes this episode of Women of the Wild podcast. We hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you have any questions or would like to check out our website, it is www.womenofthewild.net. We post different events and everything that we've got going on. We would really like to also thank our sponsors, ACC Crappie Sticks, Girls with Guns, Southern Snare, Sawmill Creek Baits and Lures, RMC Custom Calls, Atlantic Coral Enterprise, Blast and Cast Guide Service, Epler Fur, Feather Moon Calls, Shangalaya Safaris, Dr. Josh Farr Children's Books, and Shelly Emmer with Dirty Girl Guide Service. Thank you all, and hope that you tune in 2 weeks for our next episode.